polygamy, and now there's solygamy, the growing trend of marrying yourself. Our next guest tied the knot to herself on Valentine's Day this year and has since gone on to act as a celebrant for more women walking down the aisle alone. Please welcome Emma Jane Love to Studio 10. Emma Jane, you married yourself on Valentine's Day this year. How did that all come about?
Well, it was actually towards the end of last year. I'd been on this journey about 5 years of deep healing myself, because growing up, I'd always had this idea of the fairy tale of meeting the one, of meeting my soulmate. And then what I found was that I was ending up in these relationships where I was giving my power away, where I was really not honouring myself and putting them first. And I ended up was in 3 abusive relationships. Wow. So I really made this commitment to put me first and get rid of the concept of I have to be married and then I'll be complete and then I'll be whole. So really that's how that happened. So, and then, yeah, I came up with the concept, got engaged at the end of the year.
To yourself?
To myself.
Bought yourself the ring?
Bought myself a ring, yeah.
So let's have a look at the ring. So you've been married for how long? Since February?
Since February, yes.
And this is your beautiful ring that you gave yourself.
Yes.
Do you feel different? And are you now involved, like, with meeting other people, or do you want to stay single, so to speak, or faithful to yourself?
Yeah, so I guess for me it was a completion of all the work that I've been doing on myself, and I feel more whole, definitely more complete, and more like I'm not looking outside of myself for happiness. And that's really the key. And in saying that, though, I'm totally open to actually
getting
meeting
married?
someone. If it feels true for me at the time, if I meet someone and I feel like I've actually been married before, so
wow.
Yeah, I was 17, so I eloped, but yeah, that's it.
Can I just get my head around how it actually works? Like, so when you say you got engaged, did you ask yourself to, like, did you think in your head, I'm going to ask myself to marry me?
No, I just made a decision, yeah. Right. I was like, well, why would I, not focus on loving me first? And if I loved myself, then I would commit to myself and to do a ceremony. It was I used the word marriage, but it's a self-love commitment ceremony. Yeah,
because on the surface, obviously, marrying yourself does sound a little bit narcissistic, but it's actually the opposite to that, isn't it?
Yeah, I think one thing that I really noticed is that we're really conditioned that it's selfish to love ourselves first, but really loving ourselves first is at the core, and that's when we can deeply love other people. It's when we we commit to and love ourselves first. So,
and then you attract more people, don't you? Because if you're proud of yourself, and you send that out.
Can you not? Was it important for you to go through with the actual physical ritual? I mean, I suppose that's what a lot of people would have difficulty getting their head around. Why can't you just say, right, well, I'm going to treat myself this way or think of myself this way, without going through the whole
marriage
thing? Because a lot of people would find that strange, let's face it, wouldn't they?
Yeah, well, I like to think that I'm a woman that wants to dress up and get excited and get sexy, and we do this so often for other people, but what about just for ourselves? So for me it was like, I'm going to get dressed up for myself, I'm going to look beautiful for myself,
good on you.
Honour my body, and
because we're just looking at some pictures of you with some other women, because you've been acting as a celebrant in Bali, and some of those pictures showed you with a mirror showing the other woman. So what's involved with that particular ritual?
Yeah, so all of these women have done some work with me around healing, because I am actually a love and relationship coach as well. And so I take them on a retreat or work together one-on-one over some time. And then, at the end, they'll do this ritual. So sometimes we do it in a group setting where we each witness each other. So we all get to be each other's witnesses, which is really beautiful. And so, but they have to be at a space where they're ready to commit to themselves. There's no point if they're giving their power away or in toxic situations for them to commit if they haven't actually got to this point of, oh yes, I am loving myself. Yeah.
And there's a real difference, isn't there, between being, oh, I love myself, to rather than just giving yourself self-love and accepting, who you are for all your faults and that type of thing, right?
Exactly. Massive difference. So I think sometimes we just don't think that it's okay to love ourselves, but I always teach that we need to love even the parts that we don't think are lovable, that people have made wrong or we have made wrong. And when we find the love within us, then it's always reflected back out to the world, and we attract people that can love and value and honour us. So
do you still believe in soulmates? You were married at 17. Or do you think that's
yeah.
something that's just doesn't exist?
Yeah, look, I have different beliefs on soulmates, I suppose. I believe that we have soul family, soul friends, soulmate clients, but ultimately I believe that we're our own soulmate first, and that we can have these different connections in life and explore those without being attached to, hang on, this person's my forever, because they might not be forever. I mean, divorce, you know, half people end up in divorce. So, and we get attached to that and distraught about it if it doesn't work out. Whereas here's an opportunity for us to heal and maybe have people that are better for us come into our life.
If you go out with someone else, are you cheating on yourself?
That depends. I mean, I might be polyamorous or have an open relationship.
Don't worry, baby. Me and myself have an understanding.
Exactly.
Joe's looking into it already.
That's right.
Jane, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah,
Really interesting stuff. Thank you. I'm married myself.